Hello traders, Andrew Curry here. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Give me a like on the video, and if you go to my website, you can sign up to my free trading newsletter. And what I want to talk about today, and not go down a huge rabbit hole of politics or anything like that, is just looking at fundamental analysis. Now, if you're new to trading, fundamental analysis is where you look at economic data, economic reports and so on, and use those to judge the strength of the economy and therefore the price of one currency against another. As lone retail traders, we generally don't do that. The amount of economic data you would have to consume and then make judgments on would probably be overwhelming. Yes, hedge funds and so on trade using fundamental data, but they have whole teams of people who do nothing else but consume economic data all day long. It would probably be overwhelming for a retail trader to try and trade that way. So instead we look at technical analysis. It's probably best, I think, to stay away from fundamental data as much as possible, because it's just going to add a layer of confusion and indecision to what is already a difficult skill. Currency trading, difficult in the sense of it's difficult to execute because you have to control your psychology, your emotions and so on. You don't want to be adding another layer of emotion that just ends with you in analysis paralysis, where you've got too much information so you just can't make a decision. But having said that, weeks like we've had in Britain, for example, with the Chancellor's budget, where the Chancellor lays out tax plans for the next year, will obviously end up on the news. You'll get people commenting on it, what's likely to happen. What I want to emphasize is not only is it difficult to trade based on fundamental analysis, but a lot of the commentary and information you will receive about fundamental things, the economy, what the reaction to the budget is, what the markets are doing, and all this, is likely politically biased. And I don't want to get into politics and political bias and all that. All I want to say is we currently have a Labour government, which is a left of centre party, was elected in July of 2024, and they're the equivalent, if you're not from Britain, they're probably the equivalent of the American Democratic Party. The Chancellor is obviously part of that party, and so what you'll find is people who are on the other side of politics will blatantly say this is a terrible budget, it's going to crash the economy and all this, and the slightest bad economic data will be talked about non-stop. And equally, if you're pro-Labour, you will say the budget is the best thing ever. And equally that works the other way around when the other party's in. Their political opponents want to create a narrative, and what I want to emphasize is what prompted this video was when I saw this on Twitter from a politics channel. Sorry, it's not Twitter anymore, is it? It's X now, but Twitter still sticks in the mind. Depending on how you look at it, Twitter can be a valuable source of information, or it's the cesspool of the internet. Breaking: the pound is falling. The biggest fall in more than 18 months. This is the day after the budget. And whoa, look at that. Pound against the US dollar, I presume this is, because it just says pound is falling. It doesn't, I can't see from that image, pound relative to what? Which again is not accurate. They should be saying pound relative to whatever that is on the chart. So that's the first red flag here, that they're just wanting to comment pound is falling, biggest fall in more than 18 months. It's difficult to see that and not be thinking, oh, we're okay, should I be selling the pound now and all this? No, you should be sticking to your trading plan, to your rules, following your rules, and keeping away from this as much as possible and doing your best to ignore it. But like I say, I find it easier to ignore it once I look at it and see something like this and think, yeah, it's probably politically biased. Let's have a look at what the actual market is doing. And I'm not saying this to be pro-budget or anti-budget. Let's just look at the facts of what the markets are showing. This is the terrible move, bearish, biggest fall in 18 months and all that. But there we go. There's the move there. Actually, let's see what that move actually is. So from the previous lowest close, which is there, to the lowest close there, 89 pips. That's quite a substantial move in 1 to 3 hours. But it occurred the day after the budget, not when the budget was announced, which would probably indicate it's a reaction to the post-budget analysis that people have done, if it is fundamentally influenced. But that's not the point I want to make. The point I want to make is looking at this worst move, biggest fall in 18 months, that may technically be true. It is quite a substantial fall in a 3-hour period, roughly. But if we look, oh, hello, just an interruption here. This is Lenny. Hello, Lenny, say hello. Hello, lad. It's my daughter's dog who I'm looking after for today. He's very interested in fundamental analysis. So there we go. So you probably have a comment here and there. Oh, you're coming round here, are you? Right. Okay, well, we're looking at the charts, Lenny. See what you think about the charts. Right. So if we look at this in bigger context of a daily chart, the pound relative to the US dollar is actually doing pretty well. Where's the actual fall? Here. It's trading, even after the lowest point of the fall, it's trading higher than it's done at any point here for past, well, let's look at this. It's apart from this, there we go. Right, apart from that orange bit there, it's trading still at the highest it's traded at any time since April 2022, so for 2 years. So, we're all doomed, the budget. When you look at, just do a very simple piece of analysis there and see it in context, out of context, biggest fall in 18 months. Well, that might be true, but look at the situation. The pound is not falling dramatically. There isn't a huge, it may be a reaction to the budget. Who knows, as the economic data deteriorates, if the budget does have a negative effect on the economy, well, then maybe we may see falls. But seeing things like this doesn't help you as a trader. It's best to avoid it. And if you do see it and can't avoid it, like periods like this, there'll probably be a similar situation next week, because I'm saying this just before, this week, sorry, I'm recording this on a Monday. The US election is tomorrow, and we'll get the results on Wednesday morning at UK time. So if there is a reaction to that, if we do see a similar move, depending on who's elected, the other side politically will never shut up about, oh yes, Donald Trump was elected, and look at what's happened to the US dollar. Oh yes, Kamala Harris was elected. Look at the crash of the US dollar. Biggest fall in 18 months. Stay away from this kind of data. It is politically biased, showing things out of context to prove a political point, which is easily dismissed by doing a very simple analysis of just looking on the daily chart. The pound is trading, even after that fall, at its highest points for 2 years, apart from this bit here in orange. So it's not difficult to see the poor quality of the information you're getting. And once I started to realize that, I found, okay, it's easier to ignore. We're all doomed. The pound is full. Yeah, okay. I'll look myself at what the pound is doing. I'll follow my trading plan. And if the pound does fall relative to the US dollar, well, okay, I will follow my trading plan. If it's on a bearish move, I will look for trading opportunities as per my plan, and so on. Stick to your trading plan and try and ignore politically biased economic and currency commentary.